go across to Pooja Shali, our reporter, and I see the Guard of Honor being lined up there, Pooja, to receive the body of Dr. Manmohan Singh. Pooja?
Yes, Rahul, I can hear you. And just a short while ago, barely a few minutes ago, the hearse has entered and was taken away inside the Nigambodh Ghat. And I have to add something here. We did catch on our cameras as well, and we'll play out that visual because, of course, expectedly, there was commotion. The VVIP entry with the vehicles of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, and, of course, Gursharan Kaur, the wife of late former Prime Minister. So, to ensure that it was a smooth entry, it was Priyanka Gandhi Vadra who got down from her vehicle and not behaving as a VVIP, ensured that the entry was followed with protocol, with convenience, especially for Gursharan Kaur, especially for her mother Sonia Gandhi, and then the vehicles were permitted. But slight commotion here because a lot of people and the Karyakartas and other party workers also, of course, wanted to get in. That is not being permitted. Looks like some did manage to make an entry when the commotion happened, when the vehicles arrived. So about 4 to 5 vehicles, apart from the hearse, were allowed, which was of Gursharan Kaur, of Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, her children, daughters as well. I saw in some of these vehicles an emotional moment. See the kind of conversations that were happening, overwhelmed family members. But, you know, this is also the reality, what I just witnessed, Rahul. The first steps in 1932 taken by Manmohan Singh in Gah, in a village in Punjab. The final steps, the Antim Yatra as it is called, at the Nigambodh Ghat in 2024 in New Delhi. And with those steps, the legacy and the lessons that Dr. Manmohan Singh has left behind. Just one more visual from the Ghat, you can see the kind of arrangements. It's becoming slightly tough for the police personnel on the ground, because they are only permitted to for some individuals to enter from this gate, but many more want to come in. I saw some other Congress members as well, KC Venugopal, other leaders as well. Montek Singh Ahluwalia also just crossed paths a few minutes ago. They didn't want to say anything at this juncture. A rapid action force currently clearing out the way, but the hearse has entered, which means now, Rahul, there's a strict protocol, starting with the Home Secretary, then the Chief of Naval Staff, Air Staff, Army Staff, Defence Staff, and then, of course, Prime Minister and the President and Vice President. That protocol is very strict, will have to be followed in time. There's slight delay already, but in the next few minutes, that will begin as well. Back to you.
You know, Nigambodh Ghat gets its name from Nigam, meaning the Vedas, and Bodh, which is enlightenment. So it's about spiritual awakening, enlightenment. You know, this is where it is said that Lord Brahma bathed the Nigambodh Ghat to try and regain the knowledge that he's lost of the Vedas. Now this is all myth and folklore, but a very significant site this, the Nigambodh Ghat, where former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh will be cremated with full military honours. Sanjay Jha, also the fact that he is India's first and only Sikh Prime Minister. We're seeing all these images of Rahul Gandhi being surrounded by friends and family of Dr. Manmohan Singh, and given the Congress's relationship with the Sikh community in the light of what happened in 1984 and the riots that followed then, apart from his professional competence, also a symbolic message to try and, you know, wean away those memories, just move away from those memories of the riots, and to try and give a member of the Sikh community his place in the sun at the highest post in the country.
Yeah, you know, Rahul, for people like us who kind of were aware of what happened during 1984 massacres, there can be no redemption, to be very honest. But yes, Dr.
Okay, done. Thank you. हम फॉलो करेंगे सर. हाँ जी.
In the Sikh religion, the body is viewed as a temporary vessel for the soul, which ultimately merges with God. The focus is on simplicity. There are no elaborate religious rituals. The focus remains on prayer and spiritual reflection. The body is dressed and bathed in simple, typically white clothing. And then you have the kirtan that follows the Japji Sahib part, the Sohila Sahib part, to provide peace to the departed soul. The military procession for the funeral has started. The Air Force, the Navy, the Army bands carrying the hearse of Dr. Manmohan Singh to the Nigambodh Ghat. The weather mercifully just at this moment holding up. It's been raining quite non-stop, means the wettest December in the last 3 decades. It's been raining non-stop the last 48 hours, but just at this moment, mercifully, the weather holding up, allowing for people to be present at the site where the cremation will happen. Ashok Malik, in what we saw from Dr. Manmohan Singh during his time as Prime Minister, I got the feeling that he was very keen on peace in South Asia and a common prosperity. And then for various reasons, in part to do with terrorism emanating from Pakistan, the 26/11 attacks, that never happened. So he tried to make some compromises in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt to try and facilitate peace with Pakistan and in the larger South Asian regions, but that remained an unfulfilled agenda.
Rahul, to be honest with you, I lived through that period and I looked at Dr. Manmohan Singh's foreign policy very closely in that period. There were stellar achievements, but quite honestly, I felt he put a lot of capital into a permanent solution with Pakistan that was going nowhere and it did not have sufficient buy-in within the country. It did not have sufficient buy-in within his own party. It didn't have sufficient buy-in in Pakistan either. And through that process, terrorist attacks, 26/11 was the biggest and the most egregious, but there were many smaller ones. Through that process, it's continued. The infrastructure of terrorism in Pakistan did not get dismantled. And it did seem a little quizzical as to why this process was being pursued, noble and idealistic as it was, without any guarantee of even a semblance of return on investment. So while I appreciate the desire for peace with Pakistan, and no sensible person will argue against that, the ground conditions and the objective reality were very different. And I think in the amount of political capital and credibility Dr. Singh put into it, perhaps it may be used in other directions. Frankly, I would see that as one of the question marks of his, especially his second term as Prime Minister.